lie in the cradle of your bed, feeling the Earth's gentle gravity holding you close. Above you, stars murmur secrets in ancient light. Tonight, we wander past their shimmering faces to listen for a softer voice, a whisper older and stranger than any star. It drifts between galaxies, shaping everything without ever being seen. Asterisk, you rest quietly now, nestled in a pool of soft darkness. The warmth of your blanket cradles you as the Earth's own pull reminds you that you belong here. Tethered by gravity's tender hand, each breath slows, becoming a gentle tide, and your mind begins to drift, unmoored from the day's bright noise. Above you, far beyond your closed eyelids and the thin roof overhead, the night sky stretches out in hushed majesty. It is a vast, silent cathedral, jeweled with countless stars that shimmer and pulse. They send their ancient light across unimaginable distances, reaching you at last in delicate threads. If you listen closely, you might imagine their murmuring, stories of their births in swirling nebulae, of lives burning bright and sometimes ending in colossal brilliance. Yet tonight, you and I drift together past these radiant storytellers. We slip silently beyond the closest stars, leaving behind their warm glows, sailing deeper into a darkness that feels almost sacred in its enormity. Here, among galaxies scattered like lanterns across a midnight sea, we search for something stranger, something quieter, a whisper that does not come from any star. Imagine yourself floating there, unbound, your body light as a breath. All around you, galaxies spin, elegant spirals and glowing ovals, each one home to billions upon billions of suns. They drift apart, slowly stretching the fabric of the universe itself. If you could stretch out your hand, you might try to catch hold of a spiral arm or scoop up a cluster of bright globes. But between your fingers would slip an invisible tide, a force that pulls not on matter directly, but on space itself. This is dark energy, the soft whisper you came here to find. It is not a wind that pushes, nor a string that tugs. It is something more elusive, something woven into the very shape of the cosmos. It causes the space between galaxies to grow, to gently swell, carrying those distant lanterns ever farther from one another. Let your mind wander through this idea, unhurried. Picture the universe as a vast piece of fabric, and every galaxy as a delicate bead sewn onto it. As dark energy works, the fabric stretches, the beads do not move on their own. Instead, the space between them expands, like dough rising under warm hands. This expansion is subtle, patient, yet over billions of years it becomes the grand sculptor of cosmic distance. Long ago, astronomers believed gravity alone was the master of the cosmos. They thought that after the Big Bang, the universe would either drift outward forever at a slowing pace or collapse back upon itself under the pull of all its gathered mass. But when they measured how distant galaxies moved, they found a surprise wrapped in shadows. Instead of slowing, the universe's expansion was speeding up. Something unseen was urging it onward. Here, in this profound silence between galaxies, you can almost feel it. A tranquil hush, not emptiness, but a presence without substance. A quiet breath inflating the spaces you drift through. Dark energy does not glow. It does not cluster or form stars. It is everywhere, yet invisible. Its whisper is not carried by sound, but by the ever-accelerating drift of galaxies apart. And so you float on, weightless, watching this delicate ballet. Imagine entire clusters of galaxies, each cluster a vast city of stars, all slowly moving away from each other, like luminous ships carried by a tide with no shore. There is no wind here, no current you can touch, yet the dance is undeniable, written in the light that travels to earth, slightly stretched into longer, redder waves, revealing how swiftly these cosmic cities sail away. Dark energy, this hidden hand, makes up about 70% of everything in the universe. Consider that for a moment, held gently in your slowing thoughts. Most of what governs the shape and fate of all things is something we cannot see. Stars and galaxies, planets and dust, even the invisible dark matter that stitches galaxies together. All of that makes up less than a third. The rest is this mysterious, quiet force that stretches the very stage upon which everything exists. As you float here in thought, let your heart slow to match the rhythm of this cosmic unfolding. There is no need to solve this mystery tonight. Simply rest in it. Feel how even in the grandest scales, the universe is full of soft secrets, waiting not for hurried answers but for patient wonder. You might wonder what it feels like to be part of such a universe. The truth is, you already are the very space. Within you, between your atoms, inside the architecture of your cells, is also expanding, though bound so tightly by other forces that you don't stretch apart. Still, you are made of the same space that grows between galaxies. The whisper of dark energy passes through you, as it does through everything. Allow this to soothe you. You are not merely lying in your bed upon a turning planet. You are afloat, in a vast, living fabric, cradled by forces both gentle and strange. Above, the stars continue to send their faint songs. But beneath and beyond their music is a deeper hush, the soft breathing of the universe itself. Stay here with me, just a little longer, feeling how your body is held by gravity while your mind sails freely on this invisible tide. Notice how it makes the galaxies slip ever more quietly away from each other, crafting a larger and lonelier stage. Yet in this loneliness is also possibility. More room for new stars to be born, for space to hold dreams, for stories not yet imagined. Soon, we will return to the nearness of your body, to the familiar comfort of your heartbeat. But before we do, let us drift just a little farther, because as you lie here, floating on the edge of sleep, there is another wonder waiting. The realization that even within your very self, there is more emptiness than matter, that you too are mostly space, and perhaps in that quiet space, inside you, the same whisper that drives galaxies apart is softly at work, inviting you to listen, to dream, and to discover what other secrets your own body of stardust and silence might hold. So breathe gently now, and feel the quiet places within you. For soon we will explore how your very body carries echoes of this vastness, how your cells remember the stars, and how within all that emptiness lives a tender promise. Feel your breath slowing, your chest rising and falling like tiny waves on a cosmic shore. Within you are atoms forged in supernova, yet between them there is mostly emptiness. This emptiness is kin to the vast dark reaches between galaxies, filled with mysteries that pull on your very being. Asterisk, lie back and close your eyes. Let your breath soften, flowing in and out like a quiet tide along a moonlit beach. Each inhale gathers the cool night into your chest, and each exhale releases the gentle weight of your thoughts. As your body settles deeper into the mattress, imagine yourself adrift on a calm ocean that stretches beyond sight. Your heartbeat is the only sound, a tender drum keeping time with the turning of the cosmos. Within this tranquil rhythm, consider what you are made of. your hands resting on your stomach, your lungs drawing air, your thoughts drifting like wisps of cloud, all of it composed of atoms, tiny building blocks dancing in vast spaces. These atoms are not ordinary at all. They carry the memory of stars, long before there was a planet to cradle you, before there was even a sun to warm your skin. Giant stars burned bright in young galaxies. These ancient suns lived passionate, fleeting lives, fusing light elements into heavier ones in their fiery cores. When they could burn no more, they died in spectacular explosions, supernova that flung their enriched guts across the emptiness. Out of these stellar ashes came carbon, calcium, iron, and all the other elements that now reside within your bones and blood. So when you breathe, it is not merely air you draw in. It is a quiet communion with the universe's past. The oxygen, carried on each breath, was once forged in the belly of a dying star. The iron in your blood, so vital it colors your very life red, was born in a cosmic crucible that ended in brilliance. You are a soft vessel for this grand history, a living archive of stellar alchemy. And yet, even knowing this, there is a stranger truth that whispers beneath your skin. For if you could somehow shrink yourself down, diving inward past organs and cells, past molecules and atoms, you would discover an unexpected emptiness. Within each atom lies a tiny, dense nucleus surrounded by a cloud where electrons dance. But between the nucleus and these whirling electrons is nothing, an expanse so vast on their scale that if the nucleus were the size of a marble, the nearest electron would orbit more than a football field away. In other words, most of you, most of everything you see and touch is space, vast, open space. You are a delicate latticework of particles, suspended in tremendous emptiness. Just as galaxies are sprinkled across the universe, separated by oceans of dark energy, so too are your atoms scattered with wide stretches of nothingness between them. Your very substance is kin to the cosmic void. Allow this thought to deepen your sense of wonder. Here, lying still, you are both solid and spacious. Your flesh feels whole and warm, yet within, there are gulfs of nothing. And these gulfs are not silent or dead. They are alive with possibility, governed by subtle quantum rules that allow particles to flicker in and out of being. In this way, even the emptiness inside you hums with mystery. Picture it gently. Your heart, so reliably beating, is built from countless atoms that mostly do not touch. Atoms born in ancient cataclysms. They are held together by forces that reach invisibly across the spaces, binding you in a tender embrace that lets you exist at all. You are a masterpiece of connection, a quiet celebration of distances bridged by unseen hands. Outside, across the universe, dark energy stretches the fabric of space, expanding the reaches between galaxies. Inside you, the forces that bind your atoms fight against this same stretching, holding your structure firm against the subtle push of the cosmos. In a sense, your body is a small resistance to the universe's gentle unraveling, a tiny island of cohesion in a sea that yearns to widen. Let your mind drift here for a moment. Feel how your chest rises and falls, like tiny waves on that vast cosmic ocean. Your lungs gather the night air, the same air that has been cycling through life on Earth for countless millennia. With each breath, you participate in an ancient ritual. Atoms that once graced the lungs of dinosaurs drifted through forests long turned to stone, or swirled through the exhalations of distant ancestors, now pass quietly through you, and within each breath, in the silence, Between heartbeats, you can almost sense the scale of your own inner vastness. Your atoms, separated by proportionally enormous gulfs, seem to echo the structure of the universe itself. Galaxies held together by gravity despite the dark expanses between them. Atoms held by electromagnetic forces despite their airy architecture. The same grand pattern repeated in you. There is comfort in this gentle mirroring. It means you are not apart from the cosmos, but a living echo of its deepest designs. The empty spaces within you do not diminish your being. They are an exquisite reflection of the spaces between stars. You carry the shape of the universe inside you. Now, in the softness of this night, imagine what it means to sleep with this awareness. As you surrender to drowsiness, you become a drifting vessel on a sea of your own vastness. Your dreams navigate this inner cosmos, sailing through spaces between your atoms, brushing against particles that were once forged in stellar hearts. Each cell hums with ancient light, and each quiet space within you resonates with the same subtle force that urges galaxies apart. Does this not make you feel a tender awe? That lying here, eyes closed, you are at once minuscule and immense, small compared to the star fields overhead, yet vast within, structured by distances as grand, in proportion as the gulfs between worlds. Your very existence is a testament to balance. Forces that pull and push, particles that bind across empty reaches. A delicate architecture of matter and silence. So breathe again, slowly, in, out. Let your body become light and buoyant, a constellation of atoms afloat in a private universe. Feel the stillness gather around you, wrapping you in a gentle cocoon. Each exhale releases not just air, but tiny threads of old starlight. Let loose back into the world. Stay in this soft awareness for as long as you wish. When your thoughts begin to wander, guide them kindly back to the image of your own vastness. How you are, mostly space, yet undeniably whole, a quiet miracle of structure and emptiness dancing together. And soon, as we drift onward, we will explore how this quiet, spacious architecture within you is mirrored on the grandest scales, how the very canvas of the cosmos expands, carrying galaxies away on tides of dark energy, much like your breath carrying whispers through your silent, starlit form. Picture the universe as a vast, stretching fabric. Galaxies painted upon it drift farther apart, carried by something invisible. Your mind floats there, weightless, among these cosmic brushstrokes, wondering what makes the canvas grow wider and wider, ever more quietly. Asterisk. Let your breath slow now, easing into a soft rhythm that matches the quiet pull of gravity on your resting body. Feel how your chest rises and falls like a delicate tide, each inhale a gentle gathering, each exhale a graceful letting go. In this softened space, your mind grows light, untethering from the usual anchors that hold it close to your daily life. Close. Your eyes and picture the universe not as a cold, black void, but as a vast, living canvas. Its fabric stretches beyond every horizon you can imagine, woven from the very threads of space and time. On this immense tapestry, galaxies are like luminous brushstrokes, vibrant smears of light, each filled with countless suns, each a swirl of silent stories. See how these galaxies drift upon the canvas. They are not like ships cutting through a sea, moved by engines or sails. Instead, they move because the canvas itself is stretching beneath them. It is as if someone is quietly, slowly pulling at the edges of the fabric, causing every point upon it to slide away from every other point. The galaxies ride this expansion, carried apart not by their own motion, but by the gentle swelling of the universe's very foundation. Imagine yourself hovering above this grand painting, your body weightless and your thoughts unbound. From here you see the patterns of galactic clusters, gatherings of glittering islands tied loosely together by gravity. Between them are vast expanses of nearly empty space, darker than any earthly night, infused with the faint whisper of ancient light. As the canvas stretches, these clusters drift ever farther apart, like droplets of dew separating on a slowly inflating sheet. Long ago, our ancestors looked up at the night sky and believed it to be a fixed dome, studded with stars that would keep their places forever. Even the first astronomers who began to map the heavens could not have guessed that the sky was not static, but a moving, growing thing. It was only in the last century that we discovered this quiet truth. The universe is expanding. The distances between distant galaxies grow larger with every passing moment, though the change is too gentle for human senses to feel. This discovery came from careful observations. Astronomers peered through their telescopes and noticed something peculiar in the light coming from faraway galaxies. The light was stretched into longer, redder wavelengths, a phenomenon called redshift. It was as if the galaxies were retreating, their light pulled like taffy as they moved away from us. The more distant the galaxy, the more pronounced the stretching. Clear evidence that space itself was expanding. Think of this redshift like the fading tone of a siren, speeding away into the distance. As the ambulance races off, the sound waves stretch out, lowering the pitch. In much the same way, the light waves coming from distant galaxies are stretched by the expanding space they travel through, shifting them toward the red end of the spectrum. It is a subtle, elegant fingerprint left by the universe's quiet growth, and so you float here, your mind drifting above the painted galaxies on this enormous, breathing canvas. You can almost feel the tension at the edges of the fabric, a tender pulling that makes every point slowly slip away from every other. The stars within each galaxy still dance around their centers, bound tightly by gravity, but the galaxies themselves are like dots on an inflating balloon, moving apart not by choice, but because the surface they rest on grows beneath them. There is something soothing in this cosmic drift. It is not a chaotic scramble, not a violent tearing. It is a calm, patient widening, like ripples spreading across a pond after a single stone has been dropped. Over billions of years, this expansion has carried galaxies so far from one another that their light may never reach across the gulf again. And yet, this very process makes room for new stories, new clusters, new cosmic dancers. You might wonder, what causes the canvas to stretch? Why does the universe not simply remain the same size, letting its galaxies twirl forever in fixed patterns? Here, we touch on a mystery even deeper than gravity, deeper than the light of stars. It is a mystery tied to the same quiet force you sensed in the last chapter, dark energy. Though invisible and poorly understood, dark energy works like a subtle hand, pulling at the fabric of space, urging it to expand ever faster. Even now, as you lie still, dark energy weaves through you, through the earth beneath you, through the air and the vacuum beyond, orchestrating this patient widening of all things. It does not push on matter directly, does not swirl like wind or crash like waves. Instead, it shapes the space between galaxies, increasing it with an unfelt urgency. Let this thought wash over you gently. There is no need to fully grasp how dark energy operates. Instead, Simply marvel that such a quiet, unseen force is the artist behind this growing canvas. Its influence means that in the far, far future, the universe will be even more vast and sparse than it is now, with galaxies drifting so far apart their light may never meet again. Yet here, tonight, you are privileged to rest in a moment when the sky is still richly woven with connections, when the universe's tapestry remains alive with the glow of countless galaxies sharing their stories across the dark. Breathe in, again, and feel your chest expand slightly, mirroring on a tiny scale the universe's own swelling. Your breath is a small echo of the grandest process, a reminder that you, too, are part of this stretching cosmos. As your lungs fill and empty, as your heart sends quiet ripples through your blood, you participate in the rhythm of creation itself. Imagine for a final moment that you could touch this cosmic canvas. What would it feel like beneath your fingers? Would it be soft, humming with energy? Would you sense the slow pull outward, like a tide you can't resist? Or would it be perfectly silent, holding its secret motion deep within? Perhaps it is enough just to wonder, to float here in your thoughts, and know that you live inside an artwork in progress, a masterpiece not yet finished, stretching onward into mysteries that invite both awe and peace.